Aquarius, this is your tarot reading for the month of May. Do you know, I think it's pretty good. It's full of the trials and tribulations and the uncertainty that I think most of us feel at the moment. But overall, I'd say it's a good reading. If you look at that central card, it suggests to me that you're going to be blessed. It is a sort of a loving blessing as well, but if you look at him, he's by himself. Does that mean you're going to be by yourself? It's possible. It's possible. In the past, there certainly have been these tribulations. There's been arguments, but they're arguments more misunderstanding, you know. But it certainly had quite an influence on you, such misunderstandings. It's those sort of circumstances with only you could explain. Maybe they could be resolved. I think we all feel that things are moving slowly at the moment, and they certainly are moving slowly for you. But you have a steely determination to get things done, and I think you'll see it through. In the future, I think you come into your power, which is why I see this as a good thing. The Empress, you know, it's a lovely, powerful thing. It's probably someone in touch with nature, somebody that enjoys the good things in life, but not in a greedy type of way. They're willing to share, you know. And I think you arrive at that through sort of getting mastery of your subconscious and sort of the unexplained bits of the world. You begin to develop that sort of mastery. What would maybe change things, and I think both things are going to happen. I don't think it's an either or. I think it's which one you focus on, and that is there is going to be a judgment. It's a justice card, so it could be actual justice, you know, but it's a judgment. We don't know if it's against you or for you. I suspect it's against you, given the way that the other cards feel. But if you don't focus on it so much, I think you'll get the prize that's there. And, you know, like us all, if you've gone inside yourself looking for answers, searching your own subconscious, you'll realise that there's more to be revealed to probably all of us. And it's going off on that search that leads you to the real prize. So that's why I'm very, well, I'd say quite positive about this reading, Aquarius. Now, the overall energy that runs through this reading, and I need to interpret everything in the light of this, it is a very good energy. It's an energy of blessings, maybe multiple blessings. I mean, to be honest, it's the cups suite, so it should be related to love. But if you look at the card, well, he's by himself. So I don't think it's actually about actual love with a person, more love as a feeling, as it were. But nevertheless, a great thing. That is by himself. It's a sort of person that feels like they've got everything, you know. They've got everything, and maybe would like to share it with somebody. It's maybe that type of a feeling that I get from this, which is no bad place to be, because surely you will find what you're looking for, because I can feel very positive vibrations, very positive energy coming from this. Now, in the past there has been conflict, but let's face it, there have for all signs. I mean, this is your recent past, but nevertheless, you know, almost all signs in the fairly recent past have experienced some sort of a conflict. This is like an argument type of conflict. It's a misunderstanding sort of conflict. But it's clearly still having an influence on you. So it's clearly important. It's one of those conflicts where probably if you sat down and explained what you were wanting to do and they explained what they were wanting to do, you'd probably realise that you both wanted the same but had different ways of getting there. So if only you could speak, it could be resolved. But often conflicts aren't like that, are they? So I don't know. It's clearly still having an influence on you. You're probably somewhat battle scarred, but I'm not overreacting to it, let's put it that way. Now, your current energy, I don't think it's a bad energy, but you might be a bit frustrated that things aren't moving quickly enough. Why I say it's not bad, it's an energy of steely determination, a determination to get things done. Maybe a patience in getting things done, that a long road does lead to the prize, but it can be one of frustration, that it's moving too slowly, sometimes painfully slowly. And I think, again, most signs have been through something very similar to that quite recently. So I don't think you're alone there, Aquarius, in feeling this way. Don't get anxious. Keep your determination, because that's the great thing that you have here. And as I say, I think this is a good spread. So keep with it. Do stick with it. Now, in the future, we have the energy of the Empress, which is a fabulous energy to have. So it does say that everything's working out for you. She's very in touch with herself, but also the sort of subconscious of others. Very in touch with the environment. She's a bit of a nurturer, an earth mother type. She enjoys indulgence. But she's not mean. She wants everyone to have the best. And do you know, maybe that's what's wrong with the world at the moment. We've convinced ourselves that austerity is the only solution to our economic woes, when it would seem that austerity has been the cause of those problems. So I think she's got the right attitude, A lovely person. She is strong. She's sort of, would I call her a power behind the throne? Maybe. There's other cards that I'd associate that more with, but certainly she is powerful, and she exercises that power through influence and through nurturing. And ultimately, how you arrive at this Empress, this nurturing, is through command of the unknown, command of the unseen, if you like. Command of your own subconscious, but understanding the subconscious of others. And going on an exploration of the non-material side of the world and getting command of that. Now, you might see what I'm saying as too mumbo-jumbo or woo-woo, so let me put it another way. It's going on a Jungian exploration of your own shadow self and having mastery of your own self. I mean, it couldn't be much further than that, but it's exploring those things that leads to the outcome, and the outcome then leads to this nurturing Empress. Now, I don't think that this next energy is mutually exclusive to the last one. In fact, I think both occur. It's just where you put your priorities. This is the energy of justice. It could be real, legal justice. I've got a feeling, but it's impossible to know. I've got a feeling it's justice against you. It could be in your favour. It could be in your favour. But the feeling is that it's justice against you, moving against you. And so therefore, if you were to focus on the negativity, it could make your world more negative. What it changes is it changes the outcome. And of course, the outcome leads to that wonderful nurturing future. So I think focusing on it is the wrong thing to do. But as I say, I think it's going to happen. I don't think it's mutually exclusive to this exploration of the sort of unknown. No, I think they both occur. And if we go with this sort of inner exploration, rather than letting this justice dominate, then it leads to you seeking more information. And I think what this is about, juxtaposition it with this sort of non-material feeling type of thing that you explore. This is saying, well, yeah, but from that exploration, what I've realised is that the world isn't as we've been told. Things are not the way we're being told. We're being duped in some sort of a way. And there's some information that is probably as much related to the material world as it is the paranormal or the unknown that's been kept missing from us. And I seek that. And I think it's in seeking that leads you to the power, this nurturing power of the Empress. You might, in seeking it, realise that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because that's certainly what I've been coming to. There's loads of secrets from us, loads of things going on in the world that we're not aware of. We can't possibly know them all. But if we keep a healthy scepticism and focus on ourselves, then life can be better. Now, I'm not even going to go for clarity on this reading. Why aren't I going for clarity? Well, I think I've already got there. There's nothing. We don't know what this justice is about, but does that really matter? So I think we can go straight into explaining it all. But the other reason is that, my views on my tarot readings have collapsed. I'm very seriously thinking stopping from doing them. But what keeps me doing them is sometimes my tarot readings have a very high monetization level. It doesn't help if nobody watches them, but if somebody did watch them, then maybe I could make a bit of money on them. I make virtually nothing, don't get me wrong. I've had, in 4 years since I've been monetized, I've had $300, so, we're not talking big money here. The other thing is that I read somewhere, and who knows, but that people prefer slightly shorter vlogs to those that I do. So those are the reasons. But yeah, we can summarise. I think this is a good reading. There has been conflict in the past. I think it's more misunderstanding than anything. And maybe that's behind the justice that's coming. There could even be a court case. And I'm not certain that it goes in your favour, but you're being told not to dwell on that, really. overall in your life, things are moving a little bit slowly. But I don't think you're impatient. No, I think you're determined to see things through. You're certainly blessed. Maybe you're by yourself. I first, when I saw this, suggested that maybe, you feel like you've got everything, and if only you could share it with someone. I'm not too certain that's the right interpretation, but it's that sort of a feeling. You're going off on a sort of self-exploration, an exploration of the unknown, particularly your unknown, your unconscious. And that's a very positive thing. If you do that, you'll realise that there's things in the material world you don't know, and you'll probably go off on a quest to find those out. You may get to where I've got to, which is to turn round and say, well, yes, there are. There are many dark secrets being hidden from humanity, but do they matter? Do they matter? Because really we should focus on ourselves. What could throw you off the track of that is this sort of justice, which I say could be a court case. But if you do go down that road, I think you emerge as and this is the future, but a very nurturing person that wants the best for everyone, person deeply in touch with your own subconscious, those of others, but also of nature. So a lovely reading, I think, for you, Aquarius.